You're watching the best. Fox 10 News at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Martinez, keeping you on the weather alert tonight. Rain drenching the valley tonight, and the Sunny Slope neighborhood flooded out. We saw several different water rescues in this area when that water came rushing down the mountain. It caught a lot of people by surprise. Courtney Griffin is live now from the area of one of the water rescues near 12th Street in Dunlap with that story tonight. Courtney.
Yeah, Mark, well, the water has gone down a little bit, but you can see it's definitely still here. Still a muddy mess. The water still flowing. Firefighters here making sure that no one else tries to drive through it like the man did earlier and got stuck. I've actually covered quite a few of these stories. Normally people don't admit to their mistakes, but tonight the driver did, so much so that he didn't want to go on camera with us because he says he was too embarrassed. Take a look at this Skyfox video. You'll see the Lexus that we learned was newly purchased 3 weeks ago, stuck in the wash after the monsoon hit the area of 13th Street in Hatcher. You can see here the man who was driving and the woman in the passenger seat get out of the car and safely walk to the sidewalk. The woman says it was her ex-husband who was driving her new car. She told him not to go through the water, but he did not listen. Here's what she had to say.
I don't know why he kept driving. It was so senseless. And I said, you need to stop. There's water down there. The fire trucks are down there. What are you doing? And before I knew anything, he just plunged in. You know, like something took over. Oh, my God, like something took over him, like an alien or something. He just kept driving. I mean, it was senseless. You could lose your life like that, just over nothing. I don't understand. I just don't get it.
What did he say when you guys realized you were stuck?
Well, hell. You know, just, well, hell. Well, what? Now you want somebody to come and rescue you. You know, so the guy was just standing there looking at me like, you know, we stood here and watched you just drive down in the water. Now you want to holler, hey.
And if you know your car can't make it through a high water, at least 3 feet from the safety cones that are in the middle of the road, don't even try.
And back out here live again, you can see that this area is still blocked off. The car has been towed. The driver said this definitely was a lesson for him, and he wants it to be a lesson for everyone else to never try to go through the water, even if you think you can make it, because oftentimes you can't. But the good news is both of them are safe tonight. Reporting live, Courtney Griffin, Fox 10 News.
All right, Courtney, thank you for that tonight. So just how intense was the rain in the Sunny Slope neighborhood? Well, parts of that area seeing up to 2 inches of rain during this deluge tonight. Our photojournalists driving through the area of Cactus and Cave Creek Road, and you can see the rain really coming down, and this side of the road here just flooded out. Everyone kind of squeezing over here toward the middle of the road, trying to find higher ground as they were making their way through there. Still, not a very good night for the commute tonight. Water filling up the streets in many parts of town. And this is the area of 13th Street in Hatcher, not too far away from where Courtney was telling us about that water rescue. The streets in this area just muddy, filled with water, flood water here creeping up to people's doorsteps and really causing a mess out there. We talked to one man whose home was flooded out. He was trying to get home. His car ended up stalling out. Not a good night for him, but he tells us he had a very good reason trying to get home, to try to get across the washed out road. He has a newborn baby girl at home.
Now the whole city knows what an idiot I am. I was trying to cross the wash. In my defense, I have an infant daughter at home. Our house was flooding because we're up near the mountain, so I was trying to get home, came across the wash, stalled, and then water started coming up about to my door, a little over my door, and so I had to get out and walk home, and now here we are.
Well, good to see everybody is okay, and he had a good sense of humor about all this. The floodwater quickly started drying out there and receding, and we talked to Owen as we were out there. His dad showed up to help him tow his car back to the house, and also congratulations to him and his newborn baby girl. Take a second look at this dramatic water rescue. This was also in that part of Sunny Slope in the area of 13th Street in Hatcher. Hit hard tonight. You can see here they're trying to help someone out of that pickup truck. The guy's getting up on the roof while that other truck shows up to rescue him. They ended up pulling that truck out after they got stuck there across the flooded waters there and that wash there. But again, happy to report they finally made it to safety. So this is how it all started earlier tonight. The rain coming down hard. This is on State Route 51 earlier this evening. Rough commute home for a lot of folks. Windshield wipers on full bore. The highway getting drenched near Greenway and the 51. Cars getting through this rain. Lightning flashes. ADOT cameras giving us a look at just how bad that visibility was. over on Thunderbird and the SR-51. And a bit of damage out on the highway also following this fierce storm that came blowing through the valley. This sign coming right down. This is at 56th Street and the Loop 101. Luckily, nobody was hit by that sign as it came down. Traffic trying to make their way around it tonight on the way home. At Skybox over this area of a flooded wash up in the Cave Creek area. In Cottonwood Creek, up in this part of the valley here, that water moving so fast, it created a raging river right across this road. People had to stop and just kind of wait and watch this thing. Look at the folks on the left-hand side of your screen, how small they are. That gives you an idea of just how wide this wash is as it went rolling over that road there. Not a good idea to try to drive through something like this, that's for sure. So, very soggy night out there, to say the least. How much rain did we actually get? I mean, we're seeing all that flood water coming down. You know, we got a lot. Here's Christy with the rain totals tonight. Christy.
Yeah, Mark, we're continuing to see some rain across the state and even in the valley, but things are much better than what we saw earlier. Before we look at rainfall totals, I just want to give you a current shot of the map tonight. As you zoom in, you'll see that we do have a little bit of activity still in the far southeast valley, light to moderate showers through Apache Junction along 88 and then down into Santan Valley, all the way up to Saskatoon. In fact, that's where we have some moderate to heavy cells. But as for the rain that's already fallen today, here's a look at those numbers. Sunny Slope, not surprisingly, a winner here, or actually a loser, if you will, because we had so much damage and so much flooding. That's why you saw those images from earlier of the rescue. Close to 2 inches of rain in Sunny Slope. We were just over 1.5 inches in Carefree. 32nd Street in Thomas, we came in at about 1.5 inches of rain, 1.4 for Chandler, and Apache Junction, 1 inch of rain as well. Now, Pinnacle Peak and Cave Creek, both about 9/10 of an inch. North Phoenix, about 9/10 as well. Mesa, 0.8 inches, and then at Van Buren and 40th Street, we saw about 7/10 of an inch. So a whole lot of rain in a relatively short period of time. We'll be talking about storm chances for the rest of your week and the weekend coming up a bit later into the show.
Yeah, I was out driving in this, and I couldn't believe how much rain was coming down myself. Pretty incredible. And a wild storm, to say the least. Hail was coming down in the area of Desert Ridge, and this viewer video sent to us by Tim Bach. Now, you can see the hail coming down, but that is an actual golf ball in the screen. So it wasn't golf ball sized hail, but there it is for your reference. Thanks, Tim, for sending that video in to us. And at least 50 arriving flights, they had to be delayed at Sky Harbor Airport when this downburst hit the valley. There were also a dozen departures that were delayed. There was a ground stop out at Phoenix Sky Harbor. They're not saying exactly how many of those were weather related, but it sounded like the majority of them were caused by that when we talked to a spokesperson earlier tonight. Also, at least 9 different flights that were coming into Sky Harbor, they had to be diverted to other airports while this whole storm was really tearing through the valley. New at 10 tonight, a Native American activist who was arrested last month in Phoenix has been taken back to New Mexico to face charges that he raped unconscious women and videotaped those encounters. Police say 41-year-old Red Wolf Pope told them that he hid cameras inside his apartment because his roommates were stealing from him and he wanted to catch them in the act. Officers say his roommates alerted them after finding footage that appeared to show sexual assaults. Wolf has denied those allegations. Well, after months of searching, Molly Tibbetts' body has now been found, and last night, many gathered to remember her. Christina Carilla joins us now live with more on that part of the story. Christina.
Yeah, Mark, University of Iowa students held a vigil last night for Molly Tibbetts. Meanwhile, we're learning more about how the 20-year-old was killed. This is drone footage here we want to show you of the cornfield where her body was found this week. Early autopsy results show she died from multiple sharp force injuries. Tibbetts was last seen jogging through her hometown of Brooklyn, Iowa on July 18th. A man said to be living in the U.S. illegally is charged in her murder. Tibbetts would have been a sophomore at the University of Iowa this fall. Hundreds gathered to remember her for the person she was last night, not the crime she became a part of.
Carry on her legacy. Remember, this is a time that a country came together for one girl that loved everyone, one girl that loved everything and wanted the best for everyone.
Christian Rivera is now facing charges for first-degree murder. His next court hearing is August 31st. He's being held on a $5 million cash bond right now. Christina Carilla, Fox 10 News.
A Casa Grande woman arrested on child abuse charges. Leticia Palos making her first appearance in court. Court paperwork shows she brought a 3-month-old baby to the hospital with severe fractures, and she had no explanation for the injuries. Her cell phone was confiscated at the hospital. Investigators found messages to the infant's father stating she wanted to hurt or kill the baby. A Phoenix police officer shot during a traffic stop last week is out of the hospital. Officer Adrian Cruz is now recovering at home. Investigators say Cruz was shot by a driver he pulled over in Cave Creek. That man, Brett Knutson, was also shot. He remains in the hospital. And a suspect robs a Chandler store 3 times, stealing more than $4,000 in high-end purses. All 3 thefts happened at the Coach store at Chandler Fashion Center. Silent witness releasing these surveillance images. Officers say she uses different disguises, but she has a tattoo of skull with flowers on her right forearm. Call Silent Witness if you recognize her. And coming up, we're not done with our weather coverage just yet. We'll have another look at some more video from a Fox 10 viewer showing how strong tonight's storm was. Plus, too close for comfort. What NASA is saying may zoom past the Earth very soon. And if you'd like to contact me on social media, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me over on Facebook at facebook.com/MarkMartinezFox10. And if you're on Twitter, you can follow me there at MarkFox10. We're back after this quick break.